Welcome back to Reaction Call. And Keir, oh dear, it looks like Keir Starmer potentially has sold out Britain's fishing industry. Now, if you know anything about UK fishing industry, you know that it has been on a downward spiral for a very, very long time. Now, in 2021, Boris Johnson struck a deal where Britain will have seized back 25% of its catching rights that was surrendered to the EU before Brexit. The fishing industry in the UK was hoping this transfer of power would continue to 2026, or that the UK fishing industry itself would seize back around 100% of its own waters, or at least close to it, or be the main driving force within the waters. Now, Keir Starmer was sent to this meeting. It wasn't just about the fishing, it was about many other things, but the main focus that a lot of people, especially UK fishermen, have caught on to is his deal. Now, he was supposedly told that UK wanted to give the EU no more than 4 years of its current deal. They wanted to give him not 5, not 6, they wanted no more than 4. However, Keir Starmer has made a deal, struck a deal with the UK, with the EU powers, which has led many of his own people within his own government, within rival governments, calling him a coward, calling him a traitor, and calling this the biggest surrender that you could possibly make to another country, to other countries. So as I say, he was told no more than 4 years. Well, he has gave them 12 years. So the EU now has access to UK fishing waters for 12 years. That is over a decade. 12 years. So UK fishermen are already struggling as it is. And now their own Prime Minister has given EU trawlers access to that water for an extra 12 years. This is unbelievable news, especially if you're a fisherman waking up this morning, waking up these past mornings, realizing that now you have to compete in what's already a dying market against the other European trawlers for 12 years. Now you might be asking, what do the UK receive in return for giving away 12 years of its waters? Well, apparently bans have been lifted on things like oysters, on mussels, and on clams. So we can now, the UK can now export those things into other European countries. I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem like a good deal, to export those things to other European countries, and in return you give them 12 years of your waters. Now, I don't know the full details, but I'm pretty sure if these other European trawlers have access to those UK waters and they have access to those mussels, clams and other things, then how big really of a market have you created? Now, it only kind of works if those European trawlers don't have access to those certain clams, mussels and things like that. But if they do, then that 12 years you have given them just kind of seems even more outrageous. Now, as I said, other people have heavily complained about this. Nigel Farage came out very fast and he said this could be the end of UK fishing, that Keir Starmer potentially has basically sold off the entire fishing market to European powers for the next 12 years. and that potentially in 12 years, the UK fishing industry will be in such a mess, in such a collapse, that the only thing you could do is extend the contract with EUs, because UK could not even have an industry good enough to sustain itself in 12 years' time. Now, this, along with other things that are happening in the UK, the farmers are being priced out. The farmers are not doing well either. And now the fishing, it just seems like the UK government really doesn't know what they are doing when it comes to self-sustainability with what they have. UK is an island. It is surrounded by water. It should be one of the biggest powers, one of the biggest go-tos and forces within the fishing industry. But it just seems like each year it just sells off more and more and more and gives away more and more to the other European powers. And in return, it gets very, very little in return. So it's really unbelievable. And then you go to the consumer base. Will we see an increase in price buying fish within the UK? Fish and chips is a very big staple food within the UK, within England. People have seen the rise in that time and time again because of the rise in energy, electric, which saw the price in foods go up for fish and chips shops and places like that. Now giving away 12 years to the EU members to fish, potentially is there going to be less fish coming into the UK? Are we going to see an increase of UK fishermen putting their prices up, and in turn seeing local fish markets, local fish shops, anything to do with fish? Are we going to see an increase in that to sell to the consumer? So this could have a horrific effect, not just on fishermen, but on anybody within the fish industry within the UK. And it could have a horrific effect on anybody who purchases and buys and eats fish within the UK itself. So I believe this deal is, from the research that I've done, I believe it's a horrific thing to give away 12 years of anything, to give other countries access to anything for 12 years, and you receive very little in return, is absolutely horrific. I believe Keir should have went there as the A side. It is the UK's waters. But to go there as the B side and say, and to give 12 years when the rest of your own people said give no more than 4, is very, very concerning, not just for this, but for other topics. There's a whole manuscript of other things that have been agreed upon, not just about fishing, but other things, that is very, very concerning. So if you live in the UK or anywhere like that, it's very concerning times. And who knows, fish and chips may just be a thing of the past in UK. This has been Reaction Call. This is another video. I don't know, let me know in the comments, did I get anything wrong? Are you a fisherman in the UK? Do you believe this is a good thing? Is it a good thing? Or is it a bad thing? Or is it a political thing? Have politicians just used fishermen, UK fishermen, as a political gain and political pawn for something else? I don't know. If you have any insights, let us know down in the comments. This has been Reaction Call. I will see you next time. Peace.